Welcome back to San Jose, California, as the 250s get set for the main event action. Jeremy McGrath, the defending champion, needs only a 17th place finish to nail down his second consecutive championship, but he has a little bit more than that on his mind. He is not the kind of guy that just wants a championship. He wants another victory. He has 8 wins on the season. He wants number 9 here tonight.
Today's no different from any other day. You know, I woke up the same this morning and come out to ride my own race. I want to win the race. I mean, I know that I don't have to win the race to win the championship, but I don't want to win like that. I want to win each race individually, so I'm going to be doing my best to win the race.
You hear the focus there, Art? It's all about winning races. Maybe that explains Damon Huffman's frustration in the 125 class, although it occurs to me that there's a championship bonus of about $100,000 here, plus who knows how much Honda money if Jeremy gets that #1 plate tonight. Yeah, he wants to win the race, but I guarantee you he'll cash the check for the championship.
Okay, they're getting revved up, getting set for the 250 main from San Jose, California, and it is Emig with a very good start. McGrath with a nice start. Let's see who gets the whole shot. It's number 6, Emig. And Larry Ward to his right. McGrath is right there battling with Ward. Falls into the 3rd spot.
Well, Jeremy's certainly off to a better start than Huffman was. Damon having crashed on the first lap. Jeremy looked like he might get a whole shot for a moment. Couldn't get the corner cut tight enough. Has to settle to 3rd early.
Boy, we saw Mike Kudrowski way back after a brutal start. Here's the pass. Jeremy McGrath into 2nd place, getting by Larry Ward.
Look at Jeremy riding through the rough stuff. All the fast guys lined up on the right-hand side of your screen. He's taking the more difficult line. And LAROCCO, number 7, is also over on that rough line. LAROCCO, again, didn't get a good start.
Jeremy McGrath in just the position he'd like to be, putting heat on Jeff Emig. Emig, number 6. McGrath in 2nd. We've got Larry Ward 3rd. Kyle Lewis 4th. Lamson, LAROCCO in that order.
LAROCCO's moving quickly. You saw him challenging Lamson there. He made that odd line work very well because in the next corner in jump series, he was able to pass a couple of 3 people. So maybe that line isn't as bad as we thought it was.
How long can Emig hang on? They've had their battles this year, Dave.
Yeah, they really have. They don't make any bones about the fact that they don't like each other. Had a dispute over a girlfriend a while back, and the hostility lingers. Here it is again. Emig takes the smoother line over on the left. Look at Jeremy struggling through the rougher inside line. Lost a lot of time that time.
Jeremy seems to pick up on the straightaways, though, and in the jump sections.
Closes it right back down, doesn't he? He is so smooth. He just has that remarkable ability to make the motorcycle work with him. He's so fluid and so fast.
Here's LAROCCO, and he's starting to hound Lamson now for 4th place.
Look at that.
Back and forth we go, but he's got the inside track, and LAROCCO takes over 4th place from Lamson.
Talk about smooth. Look at this sequence again. Lamson on the landing bounces just a bit. Look at LAROCCO's wheels down and on the power, and right by he goes through the rough stuff. Just a magnificent Mike LAROCCO pass, typical of the kind of moves that we see him make, and he has to make them a lot because he doesn't get good starts.
And out in front, it's Emig still holding off. Number 1, Jeremy McGrath. Stumbling just a little bit, and McGrath takes that same line again, Dave.
He's determined he's going to make that work, but look how Emig pulls away in the tail end of that section. It's just too rough to get through there smoothly. I guess the reason Jeremy wants to stick with it and make it work is because ultimately it becomes the inside line into the corner. If he can get through there quickly enough, he can get alongside Emig and make a pass. But boy, that's 2 tries, and it hasn't paid off either time. What Jeremy always does well is finds the good line. I'm surprised to see him stick with that one for so long.
Emig has not won his first Supercross race yet. He's come close in 1 2nd and 2/3 on the season. Can he hold? Your race, says Skip Norfolk with the pit board. So Jeremy now is picking his spots.
Look out, he's going to try to dive into the inside here. Nah, that's not going to work. Oh, once more, we'll see what he does with this whoop section. Hey, he's going to go for it again. This time he's got the momentum. Let's see if he can make it happen.
Oh, Emig's got him.
See, it just doesn't work. You just can't go that fast because it's so much rougher over on the right-hand side of the racetrack.
So Jeremy's going to have to pick another spot to take on Jeff Emig.
Oh, how about this spot right here? Notice the different lines. You're exactly right. Jeremy likes the inside. Emig will go wide, cut back under him. It's really not a pass. It looked like a pass, but it really wasn't because Emig had that inside line covered when they exited off the corner.
It's interesting because Emig is not giving Jeremy too many breaks. Too many opportunity. Jeremy looked like he landed and cased it very hard. Skip Norfolk calls for him to get to the front right now, but it looks like Jeremy's slowed off a little bit. Jeff Emig in the lead as we'll be back with more 250 Supercross action after these words. Welcome back to Supercross action from San Jose, California. Jeremy McGrath, the defending champion, trying to nail down his second consecutive title, is following Jeff Emig, number 6. As we move back a bit, number 26, Todd DeHoop, and Doug Henry takes over 6th place with a nice move.
Honda team having a pretty good night here. That'll put them in, what, 2nd, 4th, and 5th positions, but Jeremy McGrath wants the top spot. He's giving Emig a little slack here. What, 10, 12, 15 yards now between 1st and 2nd place. He's not pressuring him like he was.
I don't think that'll last for long, though, Dave, as McGrath will regroup and come up and put the heat on Emig as he's done all season long.
Hey, you remember when they did that little crisscross thing there a few laps ago? That's a high-risk maneuver, and Emig is not going to cut Jeremy any slack. It wouldn't hurt Emig's feelings if he knocked Jeremy off. Look how Jeremy's moved over to follow Emig through that whoop section. He's gone to the faster line, even though Emig's sitting on it. My point was going to be that McGrath may realize there's more risk in mixing it up with Emig than there is in just sitting back and taking the championship.
Emig looking for his first victory. Jeremy McGrath looking to nail down the championship. So there's decisions to be made, but in the heat of battle, lots of interesting things happen. Mike LaRocco's really been steaming this track, and he gets right by Larry Ward. Ward coming back, but LaRocco has the inside track, taking 3rd place.
That's a beautiful move. Second time we've seen it. He does that so well. Mike LaRocco has that section of the racetrack absolutely wired. Ward was helpless as soon as LaRocco went to the inside line. That was history.
He's riding so beautifully now. There's no place on the track, with one exception maybe, that he hasn't mastered, and that's the start, the gate.
Yeah. Now, that's the story of his night, his season, and some would say the story of his career.
He's worked hard on it, though, and has spent a lot of time trying to get a better start, and he has lately. Emig, McGrath right behind him.
One more observation about this section of the racetrack. Perhaps the reason Jeremy's reluctant to follow Emig down through there is the risk that Emig could fall off in those whoops, which he's done a time or two, and take Jeremy out in the process. It may also explain why he's holding back a little bit.
Finish line jump. Wide turn for Emig once again, and he holds on to it, puts the throttle to it. Nice leap by Emig. Number 4, Lamson. Good consistent performance tonight in 5th spot. Behind Larry Ward in 4th. He'll try to put the challenge to Ward.
Team Honda likes to keep the young talent coming up. They always have a big team, 4 riders this year, and they've always got the young guys like Lamson that they bring along. They sign them up early, get them in the 125 class, and then ultimately move them up to 250. Lamson hasn't won one yet, but you can bet that someday he will.
He's gained a lot of confidence with his outstanding performances in the 125 National Outdoor season, which has started now. Here's our leader, Jeff Emig, with Jeremy McGrath right behind him. He's picked up the slack, looking once again to make a move, it looks like, Dave.
Yeah, he's closed it up a little bit, but again, this looks like a more conservative Jeremy than, well, I don't know. He's right there, isn't he? He's willing to take the risk.
Jeremy cuts to these. Oh, and they both go down. Emig, he's stunned. Jeremy's bike is still running. LaRocco makes the pass. It is Mike LaRocco now in 1st place as Emig can't get the bike restarted.
Emig comes out the big loser in that, but I'll tell you, Jeremy took a terrific chance. He ran her up on the inside. Take another look at it. Wanted to put the block pass on Emig and basically just took Emig's front wheel out from under him. Emig will be very unhappy, and I think rightly so. Usually in that situation, the front guy doesn't crash, but Jeremy got hung up, tipped over, risked the championship right there to get the pass on the guy he doesn't like very much.
And number 7, Mike LaRocco, has a chance now to win his 3rd race of the season.
Dallas all over again, isn't it? He was running 3rd. The leaders crashed themselves out. LaRocco inherits the lead. I question whether McGrath will be able to catch him. LAROCCO had so much speed going, but just didn't have track position because he had to come through so much traffic. He's still got all that speed. Jeremy's going to have to regroup a little bit after the crash.
Mike LAROCCO has been very tough once he gets out in front in holding the lead. He's ridden smooth. He just hasn't cracked under the pressure. Jerry Bernardo working his way down to the mechanics area to talk with Mike LAROCCO Sr.
Mike, it looks like young Mike was in the right place at the right time once again.
Well, we'll find that out at the end of the race. We'll see.
As far as I can see, the minute he got out front, he's pulling a good old lead.
He's got 3 seconds on him right now. He's just got to be smooth. It's pretty tricky out there, so anything can happen.
You know, it's hard to keep young Mike LAROCCO happy, but I think winning is his #1 objective here tonight, don't you?
Winning is the only objective.
That's what we like to hear. Good luck.
Yeah, we need that for Kawasaki.
All right, thanks.
Back to the action now in the 250 main. We see Doug Henry making his way up the ranks.
Remember all the things I said about Steve Lamson before? Apply every one of them to this guy as well. Last year's Eastern 125 champ, up to the 250 class, a Honda investment in the future.
Currently in 5th place, as you saw on the screen. Doug Henry has had a good, smooth race. Meanwhile, in the battle for 3rd right now, Larry Ward, 3rd place, Steve Lamson. And Ward goes down. Lamson just sails right by him.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Crash yourself out of a podium position. The privateer will take another look and see what happened. Remember, they're trying to kind of turn the bike in on the landing, and he got the front end going the wrong way, and then it just pushed, and he couldn't get it turned, fell on the ground, and it's an easy inheritance of 3rd and 4th spot for the Honda team.
Larry back up and going, number 11, and Mike LAROCCO is still our leader, and he's pulled some time on Jeremy McGrath. We'll be back with more 250 main event action in a moment. Time running out here at the 250 main event in San Jose, California, as Doug Henry in front of Jeff Emig right now in 4th position.
Ward has lost another spot. Emig regrouping after the crash with Jeremy McGrath, getting himself a top 5. He'd like to have 4th. He'll go after Henry pretty hard here in the waning laps. The factory rivalry is just as serious whether you're racing for 4th and 5th or 1st and 2nd.
Henry's best finishes this year. He's had 3 4th-place finishes. I thought he might have a victory by now in his rookie 250 season, Dave.
Well, he came close. Remember, he was knocked out of the lead by LAROCCO once, and I'm sure he remembers that, too.
Both taking the same line through the whoop section. And here's your leader, Mike LAROCCO.
Interesting that Jeremy had absolutely no response for LAROCCO. We saw how hard he raced Emig because he wanted to win the race and take the championship that way. But he has absolutely let LAROCCO go. The interval now up around 5 or 6 seconds. And I don't know if that's just because Jeremy has a different mental attitude toward LAROCCO or whether he recognized that LAROCCO was simply too fast for him.
LAROCCO has become really hard to pressure into a mistake, and he's also, of course, kept his speed up throughout the entire race, and that's pretty tough to beat.
You got to catch him to pressure him. I mean, most of the time, most of these guys get one view of LAROCCO. That's when he goes past them, headed for the front, making up for the bad start that we've talked about so much. If LAROCCO got hole shots, they'd never see him.
Or we'd have a tremendous rivalry coming down toward the end of this championship. Mike LAROCCO, the checkers, for his 3rd victory of the season. Jeremy McGrath, the champion once again for the 2nd consecutive season.
What a remarkable young man he is. So young, so much future ahead of him, yet so many victories. 10 last year, 8 more this season. 2 tries, 2 championships. Art, you can't do much better than that.
And no one in Supercross history has won 2 titles and not finished at least 1 race out of the top 10. Except this man.
This will be interesting. Wonder what Emig has to say. Congratulations, Jeremy. I think you're a wonderful human being, and I hope we'll be friends forever, or something like that.
One thing about those helmets, you can't see him smiling or grimacing underneath.
I suspect there weren't many smiles in that conversation.
Here's how San Jose ended up. LAROCCO, McGrath, Lamson, Henry, and Emig. The top 5 as we move to the top 10 now. Stanton taking down the 10th spot. Ezra Lusk, a nice performance in 9th.
Tell me a story about motorcycle racing tonight, as a matter of fact, chasing Jeff Emig.
Well, Jeff was riding great. You know, I didn't do anything on purpose. I was trying to go to the inside, and I mean, he was protecting his line, trying to, and I blocked him. I mean, he could have stopped, but instead he grabbed a lot of throttle and ran right in the back of me. So, I mean, a lot of it's his fault, I'd say. I mean, I just went for the block. He could have stopped or went outside.
You had a good race going up front. The crowd was going mental.
Yeah, I could hear the crowd. The crowd was cheering great for us. And I was trying to make some passes, you know, in certain spots, but the track's pretty tight, and I had some trouble getting around. So I figured I had to make my move now or never, and, you know, because I could see LAROCCO coming from behind. So, I mean, I just went for it. I mean, I don't mean to take him out or anything.
Yeah, so you both went down. LAROCCO dived underneath, and then you chased him.
Yeah, LAROCCO, he was sitting in third, and then, you know, when we fell down, luckily I kept my bike running, and he made the pass.
Okay, now get to the happy part of this wondrous moto story. The part where you won a championship.
Well, I mean, the championship's in the bag now, but, you know, it sucks. I want
championship.
I mean, yeah, I've been looking forward to it all year, but, you know, the win was my main concern tonight. I mean, the championship was pretty easy to get tonight. I mean, 16th place or better, but I'm kind of, you know, I wanted to win.
All right, how about, say you get a win last round, Vegas. I'll meet you there. You get your bike with the #1 plate. You're the champion. I'll come over and I'll ask you questions if you win.
Okay, that'd be better.
Good deal?
All right, thanks.
And don't worry about calling me, okay?
I won't.
In the battle of sour grapes between Hoffman and McGrath, I'd say it's a tie.